What if your costs are fixed, only fixed? How would you set a price then for a unit of product or for a unit of service when your costs don't depend on the number of units? Because the definition of a fixed cost, it is a cost which is not related to the level of activities. You know that if you represent fixed cost, if this is your activity, and let's say that these are euros, a fixed cost will look like this. So it is a cost which is unrelated to the level of activity, which means it makes no sense to divide the total fixed cost over the number of units, because the number of units doesn't drive the level of the cost. It means the units are not a cost driver. And so I'm going to take an example. Let's take the following example. So it's supposed to be a locomotive. There's a driver there. And then you get a wagon like this. And so if you imagine that there is one passenger on board, then the cost, in fact, of the travel is not a cost which is related to the passenger. What costs money is to move that train from point A to point B. The fact that there is one passenger or even another passenger won't really change the overall cost. You could say that the cost of an additional passenger is close to zero. That additional cost is called in economics and in management accounting a marginal cost. Since, in fact, a passenger doesn't cost anything, you can't divide the cost of moving that train from point A to point B by the number of passengers in order to set the price. It is just meaningless. It doesn't make any sense. It proves that when your costs are fixed, you can't use them in order to set the price of a unit of service here. It would be the same if you imagine a product like a software. The cost of developing a software is a fixed cost. It doesn't depend on the number of people who are going to buy the software. Making the software available, for instance, through the net, copying that software and making it available has almost no cost. The marginal cost, again, is close to zero. That is why you can't use fixed cost to set prices. And I would even add that dividing fixed costs, in other words, calculating a unit fixed cost, is meaningless because it goes against the very nature of what fixed costs are that you see here, since fixed costs are costs which are unrelated to the level of activity.